Hi everyone, today I want to show you a different kind of game. You might have seen this before because I have been sponsored by them in the past. I'm talking about Dwarven Realms by Creator Studios, and I want to thank them for sponsoring me again. They have just recently launched a new season with a big update to the game. This is another ARPG that works in third-person mode, not with isometric view, but it is a really fun game to grind and play on the side for me. I've been doing this for like several season launches now in the past. I always like to jump in and just have some fun with this. It's a pretty crazy game, to be fair. As you can see here, there is tons and tons of monsters, like hordes of monsters spawning all the time, and you just like, mow them down and you eat them down. You have spells and archery and, melee attacks of various kinds, and lots of special effects going on that makes it a really fun and exciting grinding experience. The game does look and feels like an indie game, well, because it is. This game was originally created by two twin brothers and have now expanded to a team of 8 that is developing this game actively. And I can only say it keeps getting better every single season. There is nearly an infinite grind on how far you can go with your character. If you're interested in trying out a new game like this, then you can go check it out here on the Steam page. I'll also have this link down in the description and the pinned comment. This game only costs 10 bucks, so it's a very cheap game for how much time you can spend in it and how many hours you can sink into it. I know some people have been blasting this like non-stop for weeks or something, and I always have a good time when I jump back in myself as well. But the game is not just about mowing through hordes of enemies. There's also lots of cool boss fights. They've actually really stepped up the game here in especially the recent patch, I would say, where they have added more new bosses, there's more mechanics, and they're actually pretty tough. I was playing this on hardcore mode, and eventually I actually died to a boss, and there's lots of like, kind of like really hard-hitting abilities, potentially one-shots, or stuff that throws you off the cliff and then you die, and these kind of things in there. So you actually have to be on your toes in some of those boss fights. So there's like bigger and smaller bosses to defeat all the time, in addition to running those maps that are called ruptures, where you just like, fight your way through those hordes of enemies, and you can, gear up, level up, and so on. And how does that actually work? Well, you spawn in here in your home fort. This is like your base of operations, basically. You have like a bunch of like crafting tables, crafting stations. You can like convert materials back and forth. You can disenchant items and these kind of things. And this is also like what the interface looks like here. So you have your character. This is like a true ARPG where you build up your character, you find gear and craft it, and you keep improving as you go. For example, you can find like these like purple items. I just call them epic now. You can find like legendaries or rare items, or you can even craft them. So you can, for example, change the stats to another stat if you don't like what it has. Then you can upgrade those stats to higher values when it has the right thing. So there's like these kind of items here. And there's also these different weapon types, for example. So you have like, armor pieces, like, gloves, chests, and so on. You have weapon types that actually define your skill set. You always have 2 abilities, like you can choose from 1 out of 3 options for each of them. So there's actually a bit of variety. Not that many skills you use at the same time. There's also lots of like passive bonuses that you can actually invest into that then trigger all the time. So it's not like a really high APM game, I would say. But as I mentioned, it keeps you on your toes, especially on hardcore, because of dodging mechanics and these kind of things. And there's lots of interesting stats to invest into, and also legendary effects to gain. For example, here there's like a pair of boots. You get like extra attack speed per potion slot, and then you can try to find other ways to invest into potion slots, for example, to get like more potions and then have more attack speed from that. And there's like tons of little things like that where you can stack certain things and then get another bonus out of it or so. And it actually brings some depth to the itemization as well. Then you also have your character sheet. It looks like this here. So that was my character at level 49. So you can invest like 1 point every level up, and you can also get more from your items. What would be such a game without a proper skill tree? So this looks like this. This is like the passive tree, where you can find either passive bonuses or passive triggers that give you various effects. So this works kind of comparable to, for example, the Path of Exile passive tree, where you have like notables and like smaller nodes that give you similar stuff. And like this, you can kind of like, also define your setup a little bit more. You can invest more into like, energy, or you can invest more into life, or more into fire damage, arcane, various kinds of procs. And last but not least, there's also an in-game MTX store where you can, for example, get mounts, skins, and pets. And for example, there's Uber, one of the pets that is available in the game, which is actually our bunny that we have at home. So the developers have actually put in our bunnies here. So this is Uther, this is Isolde, And at some point they asked me, hey, do you want to have something special in the game, like a mount or something like that? And I said, hey, it would be awesome to get our little bunnies here. And well, they actually put them in the game. I'm not the only guy who has received something like that, but I think it's a really cool gesture from indie game dev studio here, basically putting something like that into the game for like the collabs they have been doing. But there's more stuff that you can buy. There's like supporter packs and supporter skins and so on of various price ranges. You can also find this on their Steam page. So if you can go check it out, there's like, various ways to transform your character's appearance. For example, there's various mounts and pets. And as I mentioned, there's also the, streamer like collabs basically they have in the game, where you go into the game and you type a certain code when you find a statue of that streamer. So you'll find one of my name there, and then you can get Uber and Isolde, for example. And I'll show that really quick. So if you decide to play the game and try it out for yourself, there is this hidden area behind the library door here. So you can go to the door and press E, and behind that you'll find what I just talked about. In any case, while the graphics are nothing to boast about, I think this is a really fun game to play on the side, kill some time, just have a bit of fun with. And sometimes if you don't want to sink some hours into it, you can really go on the grind and you can play this for a long time. It's not just that you play through those different maps, there's also like, special boss encounters and keys you can find for certain dungeons and these kind of things. So there's like some extra in-game stuff as well, but I'll leave that for you to discover. Another thing I really like about the game is that there are leaderboards built into literally the main menu. It's like one of the 4 buttons you can press. So they really care about the leaderboards, and they can actually show, where you are, and you can also see everyone else who's like in the top 250, I believe, of the different game modes. So there's like solo, there's basically there's not group play, but there's like guilds and clans that can like buff each other in various ways. And then there's solo hardcore and normal hardcore. And you can also see, for example, their build, what weapon they're using, what kind of special abilities they have, and how far they've gotten, what level they are. And I really like that. So here, this is where my run ended. I was ranked 14 at the end. I was not really giga tryharding or something like that, but I felt I was doing a relatively good job here with, the little experience I have at least. But yeah, this was like my run here and my experience with the recent patch. It was really fun, and there have been lots of cool updates to Dwarven Realms. So for just less than 10 bucks, I can really recommend this game. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed this. Go check out Dwarven Realms if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.